What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Q-Tip, and we're back with another video. Today, we're talking about Gabby Williams in particular and how she is the key to the Seattle Storm winning a WNBA championship this season. This is the first time we've seen Gabby Williams have a full season in the WNBA in quite a few years. This is her best season of her career. First year being an all-star, career highs across the board. She's averaging 12.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists. She's averaging 2.5 steals. She just broke the Seattle Storm single season record. She's actually on pace to break the single season record, WNBA or the single season WNBA steals record. Don't know if she'll get to it, but she has a very good chance of it if she stays healthy for the rest of the games. They have 13 more games. I think there's 44 games in the season, so she has 13 more games to get to that number. Um, she's been really aggressive offensively this season. She's been, I would say, more confident this season in the WNBA than she's been any other year. I think a lot of people can point to the Olympics being a big key for that. Also, her just being able to play overseas as often as she does, and just playing a bunch of different roles that she's played overseas and playing on a team that she just feels comfortable with. Just she you could just tell she's really grateful to the Storm. Like even when she has other teams that are calling for her or are willing to pay her a certain amount of money, she's like, no, I want to play with the Storm. I want to go back to the Storm. She spent her first 3 seasons in Chicago, um, then missed a season, and then came back after being traded to Seattle and has played with them ever since. So I think there's just a level of comfortability there, and you can't fault her for that because she's now having one of the best seasons of, or having the best season of her career. Um, I think she's one of the front runners for Defensive Player of the Year. I think Nafisa Collier is obviously in that conversation as well. Um, but I think when she plays at her best, that's when we see the Storm look the most dangerous. Um, in wins, she averages 14 points on 48 or 47% shooting, 33% from three, and 83% from the free throw line. She averages 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and then nearly 3 steals a game in wins. She's got two double doubles. She's a plus 15. And losses, she averages 11 on 39, well, 40% shooting, 28 from three, 93 from the free throw line, and then she averages 4 rebounds and about 4 assists. And then 2.2 steals, and then she's a minus 5.7. And that's not to say that she doesn't play well, because I don't think she plays. Um, she doesn't average. I mean, she averages 11.5 shots a game in wins, and then 10.9 in losses. I would just say there's games where she's a little less. How do I want to say this? Um, there are just games where if she doesn't feel like she has it going offensively, she doesn't force the issue. And when I say force the issue, that doesn't mean just shoot wild shots or just shoot anything that you feel, okay, I got an okay look here. Let me just get a shot up. It's not that. It's just putting pressure on the defense as much as you can, as much as possible. And when you have players like Skylar Diggins and Neka Ogwumike around you, and now Brittany Sykes, which I think can help everyone. When you have players like that around you, it gives you the advantage offensively to be able to play more one on one because they can't really help off anybody. Um, and I think she's done a good job throughout the season of just figuring out what they need her to do the most. And I think that is something that they have to figure out as they get closer and closer to the end of the season is like, what is everyone's role specifically? Mostly on the offensive end. I think on the defensive end, they know what to expect from everybody. Everyone knows what to expect from themselves defensively. Um, but as far as offense, they aren't the best 3 point shooting team in the league. And sometimes when you rely on twos and you can't get those shots, then things start to look a little um, ugly, for lack of a better term. In May, she averaged 13 points on 48% shooting. In June, she averaged 13 on 42% shooting. In July, she averaged 11 on 43% shooting. And through 4 games in August, she's averaging 12 points on 42% shooting. So I would say that's pretty consistent. It's between the 12 to or 11 to 13 range. Like in the 11.8, you can just push up to 12. Um, so she's been averaging 12 to 13 points all season, and she's been rather efficient for somebody that's not known to be a great shooter. She's had good stretches of shooting the three ball well. She shot 46% in May, 32% in June, which isn't really good, but it's for her. That's probably that's I mean that's about her career average from three, so that's a pretty good mark. And then 18% in July, and now 30% through 4 games in August. The defense is always going to be there for Gabby Williams, and as long as the confidence is there, I think she has the ability to really set the Storm apart from the teams that are close to them. And when she is able to like get a rebound, push the break, and just make a play, whether it's for herself or for others, I think that's when Seattle looks really dangerous. They look like a team that like, okay, like this team can line up against a Liberty or a Minnesota Lynx and give them a run and make them, or extend a series and make it really difficult because you have two Hall of Fame talents in Skylar Diggins and Neko Ogumukwe. Like once you get to the playoffs, experience and shot creation and being able to make tough shots against defenses that are keying in on you are really important. And I think both of those players will be able to do that at a high level. Um, I think Gabby Williams is the swing player for them. Of you don't need her to go out and score 20 points a night, but if she can be between 15, 17, 18 here and there, like, and just out, and it's not even a points thing, it's more of an aggression. It's more of an aggression and just putting pressure on the defense type of thing. How much rim pressure is she getting? How much how much pace is she playing with on the offensive end, or even on the fast break? Um, she's super effective defensively. Obviously, she's going to be at the very least she's going to be first team all defense in the WNBA. So my thing for them is just figure out what everyone's role is offensively, especially now with Brittany Sykes coming in. She will eventually step into the starting lineup with Skylar, Gabby, Ezzy, and NECA. Dominique Malonga, Tiffany Mitchell, and Erica Wheeler will be the go-to players off the bench, and I think that opens the door for them to have a completely different outlook as a team. But I still think Gabby Williams. I want to say, look, I'll say this: Gabby Williams and the 3 point shooting are the two keys to keep that will help the Storm get closer and closer to winning a championship. If they can shoot the three ball well and Gabby Williams is playing at a high level, they have a chance to win a championship. I think what she is capable of doing versus what she can give you, if that makes sense. Like she's capable of being one of the best players on the floor every single night that she steps on the court. But then there's also nights where I feel like she takes a step back and she just tries to let the game come to her. And I think she's the type of player that she's better if she's involved and is a big part of the offense rather than seeing what happens and then letting the game come to her and letting the game flow. Because it's not like she's a spot up shooter where she can find her shots wherever or she can get a shot at any time. Like she is a player that, while capable of shooting the three and while capable of knocking down a catch and shoot shot, you more so want the ball in her hands and her making a decision or her cutting back door or her getting the ball with a running start and just being able to make a decision. So that's really what I'm looking at over the next 13 games or so, of just how do they figure out what they look like as an offense as a whole, but really how does Gabby Williams finish out the season and what does she look like once the playoffs start? Because there's always a swing player for every playoff team, and especially teams that have playoff or championship aspirations. And for the Storm, I think it's clearly Gabby Williams. Like I think you know what you're getting from Skylar and NECA every night. I think you understand what you're gonna get from Brittany Sykes, and I think you know what you're getting from Ezzy Magagor every night. Gabby Williams is that player that can be a top two or three player on the in the game, like for both teams, or she could be one of those middle of the pack players where she's still effective, but she doesn't have a real impact on the game. When Gabby Williams plays at her best and has an impact on the game, the Storm rarely lose. I want to look a little bit more into her numbers and just see what her numbers look like if she scores 15 plus points a game, like what does their win loss look like? And maybe I'll put that in the comments or something like that. But um, for them to win a championship, I think Brittany Sykes, Gabby Williams is the player that has to step up and has to be one of the best players on the court in general, just one of the best players on the court for them to win a championship. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, also let me know in the comments if you feel like it's someone else on the team or if you feel like the Storm just aren't in that echelon of teams. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video. Thank you.